Well, today's the day, Mr. Diesel.
Oh,
Leg day.
Leg day is Joe's favorite day of the week.
It sure is.
He's gonna be so happy when he gets to the gym.
He's gonna be all wrapped up, ready to squat.
Yeah.
What do we got going on here? Pre-workout ritual.
It's just all the vitamins I forgot to take before this morning.
Oops.
Stuff for inflammation, stuff for kidney health, cardiovascular health, liver health, omegas for brain and heart health, CoQ10, also for cardiovascular health and cellular health. NAC, what is that for? It does a lot. It's good for like your lungs, it's good for your liver, it's good for your kidneys, it's an antioxidant, a lot of good stuff. It's the last one. Magnesium, use it for just cortisol control, and I think that's it. Yeah. Take some other one. Obviously there's more here that I take, but don't take it now. This is also magnesium. Taurine, good for cramps if you're getting them while you're in prep. Got some dandelion root here and some other stuff. Ashwagandha.
Tricks of the trade.
So what you do is you grab this,
Whoa!
put it in your mouth. And done.
Wow.
I've become an expert pill popper.
That's possibly the healthiest gulp of the day.
So fucking healthy.
Just packed with vitamins.
I feel so healthy.
Is your energy feeling good today?
Yeah, so it is Wednesday, a little over 2 weeks out and a little under 3 weeks out, and we've had our first like refeed in a while. I don't know. When I first started this trip, obviously I was a little undersized, so we had like one cheat meal a week for maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and then we cut all that out, and this is the first day we've had one in a while. Maybe in about 3 months. I don't know. The first one we had in a while, and so yeah. This feels much better in here. Did you see what Jake was that? No, he I have to go and watch it, but basically I saw an insert and he said that he would be considering having a doctor passing a doctor screening before you can get on stage with Olympia.
Huh.
What do you think about that?
I'd be interested in like the time frame of it. Like
That's what I thought.
No one's healthy the second they get before on stage.
I was like, no. I'm like, you're not gonna have a show if you get, especially like, what kind of doctor you gonna get? Cause
yeah,
if it's
what kind
a
of screening are you gonna do right before the show? Like,
because we're all gonna fail.
to look at him, be like, I mean, what would you do even too? Like, get blood work like when you're there and like get it back the next day? But oh no, your testosterone is too high or something. You're dehydrated. Yeah, no shit, dumbass.
Yeah. So I'm like, maybe he's thinking of doing it at the start of people's preps.
Yeah, he should do something. Like, I would be all for it if it was like some other time. You know what I mean?
If it's at the start, then you should be healthy at the start of your prep.
Yeah, or just have everybody know. Like, obviously, just pick a time of the year when you know people. It's far away from shows, so like after the Olympia, maybe like 2 months after the Olympia or something. You know, have everybody do it then. Or something.
So he would just pay for everyone who did the Olympia without knowing if they're gonna do it again the next. I mean, he could do that.
I think they should pay for everybody in the IFBB. I mean,
he doesn't run the IFBB.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Olympia. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea then. That's a good question. I mean, you should probably. I would think he would just pay for everybody that did the Olympia. Would be the way to do it. And then, I mean, obviously, of course, there'll be some people that don't do it again, but still, it's probably a pretty high percentage. Obviously, people that did it.
And like, I guess he could just always. That's really hard because some people are trying to get to that show throughout the year, and it's not a great time. Yeah. Because some people qualify maybe like 6 weeks before.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would be all for it. Like, maybe it's like you had to do some screening just at some point in time in the year.
Throughout the year?
Yeah, and like I guess you could be.
I think that's fair.
It could be completely up to you, but you had to submit it before you could compete or something like that.
I think that's fair. And then if you make it to Olympia, they just reimburse you.
And then what they should really do is like they should make it some actual, like it either be like that calcium score test or something, like an actual legit, like not like, oh, we'll do your blood pressure and we'll do your lipids and stuff. It's like, because that could be off on everybody, and that still doesn't mean a whole lot. There are people that those numbers are perfect and they're actually screwed, or there could be people those numbers are skewed and they're actually perfect, you know, from a real progress. That'd be tough to do. I think that'd be the way to do it. Is like you just had to, you know, submit it at some point in time, like every single year past the screening. And I think honestly it would be good if it was a real test. Like if it was making everybody at least do that, like calcium score would probably be one of the best screenings you can do. Because I was reading more when I talked to my cardiologist guy about the one that I do with the dye, which is like by far supposed to be the gold standard, better than the calcium score. But the dye itself is very like liver toxic, and like not to the point obviously of doing it on the dye. But they said for that reason,
don't do it too often.
Yeah, that reason they only like to do it every few years, like every 3 to 5 years. And so like obviously they couldn't do that every year. And I think that's like a little bit more expensive and a little bit more invasive.
That's true. Got a refeed today.
Is it all clean at this point?
Yeah, he just kind of, I haven't looked at the whole thing, but he doubled my first 2 nails hard, so like, instead of 45, I did, well, close to double. Instead of 45, I did 75 for my first nail, and instead of 50, I did 80 for my second one. Everything's feeling weird in my legs lately.
Back it off a little bit.
So have it like at C instead of D, normal?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna just...
Even on that first rep, just ramp up a little slower. So literally start like, it's like take like 5 seconds to move it. You know what I mean? So over a 5 second period, just ramp up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just make sure it feels good before you actually crank up to 10 to move it.
Yeah, my hamstring feels...
Don't do it then.
Your thoughts and approach on something like this, Joe?
I mean, honestly, whatever you get on that given day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
As far as trying to figure out why is it feeling like that or whatever, who cares? But if something doesn't feel good, there's no point at any point in time in your off season or any point in time. If something doesn't feel good, how the hell are you gonna have 100% output? And then at this point in time, he doesn't even need 100% output. So if anything doesn't feel good at all, just completely skip it. And so I'll take him extra slow. At this point in time, I generally like him doing a couple extra warm-up sets anyway. And so I'll take it real slow on the hack. Getting it in a different muscle length, it might feel all right. So if he can do hacks completely pain-free, great. And then maybe I'll have him try the lying leg curl. Same thing, start super light. Because again, sometimes it can be a specific range of motion or whatever. He said he got a lot of deep tissue work yesterday. I mean, that might have something to do with it. Depending on how aggressively people go with shit, you can actually kind of turn stuff off. That's why people like massage, because it can give you a feeling of kind of relax. It can release some tension. But some of that I always say you gotta be careful with, because again, it's so a nervous system thing. When you wail on it, you're not actually changing the tissue. You're just telling your nervous system to do something. And so sometimes that release of tension can feel good, but sometimes it makes stuff kind of weird happen with your body. And so anyway, it is what it is. Like at this point in time, it's really just about kind of taking what we've got. If you can do quads, perfect, great. If you can't even do hams today, honestly, not a huge deal. See, he's catching it right now, just feeling off, don't push it. So either one, we just kind of start right back up next leg day and see if we can still get some stimulus on it. Or what I could always do too, just kind of seeing how he goes with travel and everything, maybe come back on Sunday or something, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe just add a set on arm day or something just to kind of keep the stimulus there. But that's a lot of things. People really need to be conservative, you know, when they're inside 3 weeks, because again, you're not going to lose tissue now either, not from lack of training. You know, you'll lose tissue from over dieting or over cardio, but really, even if you didn't train from here into the show, I know that sounds weird, he wouldn't really lose much tissue, honestly. A lot of the training now is just about maintaining, so maybe he'd lose the teeniest bit. It's still about maintaining a similar level of output, but again, that's a tough thing, especially for people that train hard, is knowing when to kind of scale back just a little bit. And so anyway, see how he feels the rest of the session. We'll take what we get.
A lot of people are probably wondering like how I feel because I couldn't do some of my stuff today. I'm not really worried about it. One, it's out of my control, so I'm worried about something I can't change. Two, just knowledge of science. Like Joe said, I'm not gonna lose any muscle. Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. I think too, just mindset-wise, from a lot of the literature I read on that. Just don't focus on the negatives, especially when you're close to whatever you're doing, whether it's a test, a show, a competition. Yeah, it's not a good idea to focus on, you know, a bad play, a bad workout, a bad set. You turn that into a positive.
And honestly, the more frequently you can do that, the better. And just to keep it moving, because it's like, odds are, I mean, honestly, it could be just a spasm thing technically, but if it was like a, you know, like partial strain or little tear or whatever, then just keeping it, the more frequently you move it, the faster it'll feel back to normal, so just don't let it hold still. Okay. And obviously all that pain-free. If for whatever reason, like today it's a little extra tender or something, and like when you go here, it's like, just stop just short of wherever it's pain-free. And same thing, it might be completely pain-free the whole way through, and if it is, then great, just do that.
It just feels a little tight, and then when I get about, I can feel it slightly here, but when I get about here, this is where it feels the worst, and then here it's fine. Okay. Like this range is fine. Yeah. This little bit is fine. It's just like right there.
And if you're doing that body weight and it's just like the most mild discomfort, it's fine. Just keep moving. But again, the more frequently you move it, the quicker it'll start to get back to feeling normal. And then just same shit as normal. Like once you get there too, like if you got time amongst everything else they would do, I would just move your whole lower body too. So do like some hip stuff, internal, external rotation. Okay. Just keep it moving, because at this point, the fact that you're just so lean and dry, it's gonna, if you hold still a lot, it's gonna tighten up on you probably.
Okay. Homework. I got lots of homework.
You really do, for multiple people.
Yeah.
That one's a good one to do anyway, because it feels like shit for a long plan anyway. So just remind yourself to get up.
I'll try not to fall asleep.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's time well spent too at this point. Okay. So if you fall asleep, you're good. All right, guys, we'll see you on Saturday.
Later.